All right, let's look at B. Y equals negative the square root of x. So you might be looking at that and you might be like, wait a minute, dude, you're not allowed to have a negative in a square root. And you're right, dude, but that doesn't say we have a negative in the square root. So we have a negative x in the square root. So think about what that means. If you plugged in normal positive numbers like 5 for x, you would get 5 and then you would make it negative. So you'd actually be putting in a negative 5. So that wouldn't work. But if you put in an x value of negative 1, you'd get negative 1, a double negative, making it positive 1. If you put in negative 4, you get negative 4, and you'd be making it positive. So actually, in this instance, we're going to have only negative x values that work for this function, or 0, because negative 0 is still 0. Moral of the story, anytime you have a negative in front of your x term inside the function, notice how the negative is inside the square root versus on the outside of the square root. When that negative is inside your function next to your x, it will flip your function horizontally. So, if I'm thinking of my mother that looks like this, not my mother, but the function's mother, I know that's the normal square root graph. It looks like that. I have a point right there at 1, 1. I have that point starting at 0, 0. And I know I have another point over here at 4, comma 2, because the square root of 4 is 2. Well, this is going to have that same relationship between all those points, except it's going to be going in the negative x direction. So there's a point I have to have, and if I go over 1, 2, 3, 4 to the x value of negative 4 in this case, I know my y value should be positive 2, because the square root of 4 is 2. Again, it's that same relationship, it's just going in a different direction. So there's my square root graph, and we can do domain and range. Domain in set builder is going to be x in the set of real numbers, such that x is less than or equal to 0. Range in set builder would be y in R, such that y is greater than or equal to 0, because now we have only positive numbers or 0. If I'm doing interval, x is in the interval going from negative infinity all the way up until 0 and including it. Y is in the interval going from 0 and continuing on forever in the positive direction. So kind of a little flip-flop there.